Yeah,
it's not great.
I mean, it's something.
The second you hit 6 on the draw range, you get plus 27. So at that point,
Yes.
SS got like max ults and plus 27. This is pressure central when you have the draw.
It's great for Wind Ranger as well, because she is mostly right-click and harass in the laning stage, so I think the drop pick here is pretty solid. It's a little scary against Tusk Morphling because they can dive, but I do like it.
It's okay once you got the Gust. Like, everything can be pushed back, but they need a strength tanky kind of hero that can become that buffer, the front line for BlinkPool in their last.
Block's pretty good at that, but yeah, I would love to see maybe another hero.
They've done. I've seen like Drow like with Brewmasters before, where he's like that frontline initiator, and he uses his ultimate and just runs around, and the Drow just hits buildings and stuff like that.
Sounds pretty good to me. It looks like they're probably going to do a Nature's Prophet Tusk dual offlane is my guess. Just run.
It's
things
really good at
Drow.
pressuring the Drow. Yeah, that's one thing about Drow is she is just so weak in lane. There needs to be someone to stand in between her and the enemy heroes. Which most likely going to be the Clock.
The toughest thing with Clock, though, because he doesn't deal with the treants very well either. I feel like it has to be Wind Ranger, so now they can't even use this hero that should be going aggressive.
Nah, you can't put Wind Ranger against Furion. You can't make use of Wind Run against that hero because even if, you get like, what, 2.5 seconds at level 1? And then the trees are still following you around, and then you still can't trade, so you get like 2 or 3 auto attacks off, and you're still playing on the back foot.
Yeah, but doesn't Clockwork just get right-clicked also?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is like there is no real good solution right now, but the best one they have, I feel, is still Clock, because he can at least buy Stout Shield. I think you need a Stout Shield hero if you really want to like aggressively try to win that lane.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest weakness. This Prophet pick looks really good.
Yeah, Wind and Rain have found a really good here. I believe that BlinkPool still have the capability of pressuring and winning the early mid-game really hard if everything goes correctly. But I think this is a lineup that requires a high level of execution based on the first 4 heroes, and if they mess it up for a little while, they can be in a world of trouble. Because I very easily see this Morphling getting to the same point that Madara's PL was in Game 1, where nothing can really deal with him.
So the ban on Lina, a hero that's pretty good against Shadow Fiend mid, especially with the Tusk. That doesn't sound fun, Tusk Lina to lane against, but
I actually wouldn't mind Tide. You could put the Tide against the Nature's Prophet lane.
10 seconds
remaining. I like that a lot.
And then you have something that can buy teamfight items. You can go for the Greaves or whatever if you want to go Blink. You don't really need a pipe this game if you're Blinkpool. So I think that you can go just like one teamfight-oriented utility item directly into Blink. But it is a definite answer for the Nature's Prophet. Gives you some teamfight, a hero that can stand in front.
I like that idea quite a bit, actually. Good against Witch Doctor too. Just makes it really hard for Wind and Rain to fight unless they time the.
It's actually great against Morph too, because the new Anchor Smash talent, all Morphling's damage, pretty much being stat based, means that whenever you hit him with an Anchor Smash, he hits for nothing. So it's an answer. Not sure if that's the route they're gonna go, but definitely a thing. All right, they're more worried about the catch, and that is a Kezu hero.
That would have been a really weak lineup if they.
Well, the Puck is good for the lineup because it helps them push the tempo. It's a low cooldown ultimate that. You don't necessarily need a blink on Puck. I think a lot of people have that misconception. Your range is still really far, even without the use of the dagger. The dagger is more so that you can get in and out, as opposed to just in. But if their only purpose for that hero is initiation, then Puck definitely fits the bill. It has Drought Aura. If you put a double range lane, like Wind Ranger and Puck, top lane versus a Witch Doctor and a Morph, I believe that BlinkPool's offlane would win handedly against those two heroes.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
it could also lane okay against Prophet if they do like Dream Coil and Clock Initiation. BlinkPool does not have to worry about being dove for a little bit of time.
Yeah. Really hard counter pick against SF in lane. This lane, I would say, if he didn't have Souls starting out and Drought Aura, there would be absolutely no way he can win this lane. But with Souls, there is a chance.
And it makes Razes a lot more worthless because then he'll just be eating it with his refraction. So.
Well, it's a double-edged sword because you shove the wave into the TA. Obviously, you're not going to hurt her, but you're going to force her to CS under her tower, which means she's not pressuring the lane either. So because SF can push the wave faster, normally in the mid matchup when you have a hero that kills the creeps, and then the enemy team has to like compensate for it, they can't kill it faster than you. You get time to jungle, and the enemy mid laner doesn't. So it is a weird matchup, but most of the time TA is favored.
It also feels nice that when Shadow Fiend does eventually just hit jungles, that TA is not as good at rotating over to look for kills there, because it's kind of a bit of a walk, and you have to get in more or less melee range.
Yeah, so. It's very based on her trap setup, depending on where she has them. But I could very easily see the mid player dying as well.
You may now
Okay.
So that'll be their off lane.
Who is it?
Maybe.
Kezu's playing Wind Ranger.
They
might swap though.
Okay.
Swap.
So Misery, Clock, and a 5 Jakiro. So they'll be Soxic Jakiro, I guess. It's damage over time. It's a way to deal with TA, refraction. If they don't have that, it would be really hard to just cut through refraction in normal way. There's a hero that can deal with the Prophet Treants much better as well. So it'll probably be like Wind Ranger Jakiro, I'm guessing. Clock covering Drow Ranger, perhaps.
That's what I think too. I assume that Kezu and Soxa are going to be top against the Morph. That's a very, very strong lane.
Do you want to lane Drow Clock versus Morph Witch Doctor? I guess that sounds pretty good to me. It's not great for Drow. I feel you put Jakiro wherever Prophet is, no matter what, and then maybe Drow safe lane. That's like one of their weaknesses.
Yeah, but Wind and Rain are going to want the Furion against the Drow for sure. That's their goal. So, based on lineups, it's going to be very based on the lanes. If BlinkPool get the lanes they want, I think they could very easily run this game over in 25 minutes. But if their execution is lacking in any way, there's a very good chance that
SFS to be careful about the Tusk Room. Drows to be careful about lane pressure. There's a lot of scary things for them.
Prepare for battle.
So we will get into it. There is a Drow strat coming out for BlinkPool. They are currently up 1-0, and we will send it over to Toby and Purge for it.
Yeah, I'd love to watch a Drow strat in action. I always feel like it's a little bit polarizing. Like, hey, this could be absolutely amazing, or this could be absolutely terrible.
Yeah, and luckily, lately Drow strats are more rare, so they don't feel as forced, so we don't have to see those bad games as often, I feel like. It's one benefit that we have going for us.
They are the worst. Like, oh, it's a draw game, but it really shouldn't be a draw game. I picked a draw into a Slark. This should not be happening.
Yes.
But I like War's approach at least. Like, they four-man smoke up. They know that BlinkPool's going to be inside their base with the SF as well as the Clockwork just doing the cog denies. And they've already managed to get him 12 souls.
So he's got 24 bonus damage, so that's pretty good. Offsets what Refraction does.
I'm just wondering how many bounty runes they can get.
Usually you sacrifice at least one doing this because you spend so much time in your base and not on the map, so it looks like they will lose the top ones, but same vein, Sox is not spotting anybody, and nobody on Wind and Rain is in the bot lane, so they might just go 2 and 2, which is pretty solid for them.
Drow's going to get there in time, and, well, at least, as Andy was saying, like, you wanted War to have that lane, right? Nature's Prophet versus the Drow Ranger, they are going to get that. And Misery knows he cannot contest the other rune, so Sox contests the top, and it will actually be a straight-up trade, a 2-2. And it appears no one's part of a real roster. There's nothing but stand-ins getting the pickups.
True. You know, these team swaps and last-minute TI chance kind of a thing. This stuff happens sometimes.
No, everyone's really stable. Everyone loves playing together and doesn't have any kind of emotional outbreak. Yeah. Alright, so mid-matchup. How has this been to work with the SF and the TA? Like, you start with 12. Like, yes, you went Sideblaze to begin with the TA, and they even fortify at the very beginning.
Yeah, this is done a lot more right now just because it helps offset any mid-matchup, basically. You want to do things like, oh, I want their range creep to die first, for example, so my lane doesn't push. Or it might be like, oh, I'm not going to be able to get that deny. Let's glyph it so that there's like 5 more seconds so I can have an opportunity to do so. Lots of interesting ways you can use glyph in the mid lane. So just who can get the more last hit. That's what it's all about here. It's pretty raw level 1, and it'll get harder as the game continues.
I suppose the other lanes, like, we can come back to the mid, like, but how do you like the matchups for top and bottom? You feel like either team has an advantage with what we've got?
Well, it's the Wind Ranger Clockwork versus Morphling and Witch Doctor, and then Misery a little bit low, but
he's taking a lot of damage. But hey, Ritsu's not level 2 yet, right? So anything goes.
Well, my thought during the draft is that this was the lanes that BlinkPool was going to want, because you definitely want Jakiro against the Treants to deal with him a little bit better. And then you still have Wind Ranger against the Morphling this way. If Drow goes up against Morphling, Morphling has more base damage for a decent amount of the time, so and a better animation as well. So I felt like this is the one that's going to go slightly better for BlinkPool. But still not great for Morphling. In fact, he's going to probably die.
Real trouble. Getting very aggressive. Trying to zone him out with his cogs. Didn't get the earlier burn onto Ritsu, or maybe help seal his death. But that's a lot better start for Ritsu compared to game 1.
I didn't really see how the cogs worked out. Look, maybe drain Witch Doctor or something, but Morphling as a waveform, that's a scary thing. And Clock just doesn't have that much armor.
A lot of dual breath damage. He's going to hide inside the cog as long as he possibly can. Madara attacking both Karev and Millen down. They've both got Salve and Tangos to regenerate with, so it's not as scary. Top lane, however, looks a little bit drier for War. Hit tracked out of everything, and Ritsu's just got Tangos.
Still going to be looking for these opportunities to power cogs for mana drain, but Zuri's probably learned his lesson a bit. Going to play it a little bit more safe. Man, Jakiro's so good against Nature's Prophet, actually, because just between like Dual Breath and Liquid Fire, he's reducing the attack speed by like 60% on those trees. So any trading they do is just almost always going to be advantageous. I think they're going to be relatively happy.
It's a lot better for Madara too, the fact that he's not being forced into a tri-lane. If Jakiro is actually having this influence, he can get his level 6 a lot earlier, and then we're going to see BlinkPool come online. Because then Kezu's going to have the time of his life as that Wind Ranger. And we already seen like how much damage Wind Rangers do these days with Power Shot. You give a physical damage increase too.
Yeah. The focus fire won't be amazing, but just the simple right clicks will be, and that's more than enough in a lot of cases to be a big worry. There's the side pull. It's done here by Winter Rain. In fact, Nature's Prophet TPing back to base to pick up his phase boots. He'll head back to lane in a moment here. It'll be even harder for Drow to get last hit.
He's actually jumping in behind Madara.
He doesn't have a Tango actually. There's no Sprout, I guess, but
It's good harassment. Blocked in by the shards, but Farev doesn't keep the pressure on. Even with the trees, they can become your shields to dive.
this was it was a good move. Keeps Madara away from being able to contest the last hits from the pull, basically. Either way, they pick up level 3, so now they got a level 2 dual breath. Better for trading. But yeah, that's the lane that has to be really careful. Like some kind of snowball shards could go on the Drow, and that's a big threat.
There goes your dual breath out already. Milan starts the shards up, catches out the Drow Ranger. She's not maneuverable, got one Tango to cut through the tree line. And kill a couple of treants, get some good experience in.
Yeah, they're being pretty fully zoned here. I mean, the fast Aqua on Drow is great and all for the armor, but if you're up against a fast phase boost Prophet who can just keep spamming out trees like this with a TP back to base, how do you beat this lane? Feels very difficult.
You hit level 6.
Oh, he's
This
in
is the
trouble.
way to
Madara
do
might
it.
dive on
Of
him.
course, you need to stay alive for that. Madara just gets initiated on, knows he can't outrun anything, and they actually get the Sprout and the shards. Not the greatest chaining, but Saxa knows he can just TP away to safety.
Yep.
It's all the way home too.
Yeah, that fast boots on Prophet and then the TP home to refill his mana pool to get like 3 more Nature's Calls, that is just like game breaking essentially. The one skill point essentially becomes a free trip back to base with the cost of a single TP. So very hard to play against that for Drow. She gets out harassed, now she has no regen.
TP back down to the bottom lane even without it, and without the Chikuro, but at least it's a full wave of experience that she's able to pick up underneath her own tier 1 tower. Of course, with no consumables, you can see Farev just saying the trees at her. 5-minute bounty runes.
I'll take that.
It's
Okay.
not a full even trade. In fact, the last one to make it 50-50.
Gonna be close. Yeah, Sox is scared about this one. He knows. He does not want to get caught by Tusk in the middle of nowhere because he knows that Frev can also teleport. So essentially him ever being out of position is 2 heroes, not just 1. And it's very good for him actually that he didn't go for that. That could be another kill. And the faster that Milan, he's already got boots actually, but he's got to be very careful in this dual lane. If this gets out of control, it's going to affect Drow Ranger as well. And Drow Ranger hitting 6 on a good pace is super important.
Interesting place for BlinkPool to scan. They scanned to the southeast of their tier 1 tower mid. Like they were expecting Milan to come over, but he walked underneath the observer ward for half a second.
Yeah, and he is actually there now. They were just a bit worried about him approaching. SF doing fine.
Yep, 31-26 versus the 23-6 to TA. Maybe a little bit scary. Diakuri has to fortify as it flew right underneath, or right above Kezu.
That's pretty scary actually with Drow Aura, especially. Drow picking up level 4 now. Frev's still in the lane halfway to 6, and Madara's sort of pseudo-soloing this, I guess, but Sox is going to go for a pull-through. This is the best they can do level-wise. He actually might miss it.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, he does actually miss his connect here, fortunately for him.
You're still
What?
okay with it. Like they're going to dive you if you didn't have a creep wave underneath the tower, so Madara's going to need the numbers. The shards this time will not be able to connect properly from Milan, and Eric, snowball forward, really wants to go after Madara. Gust away, create some space for Rev. Not looking too healthy, even Clockwork firing the rockets down to give the vision.
Ooh, almost gets
But Rev
trapped.
begins his TP away. They are so low with the Treants attacking and the illusions of the Tusker. Madara
Got a
having
nuke.
a hard time living, and now the TP's coming back in again. Rev is already regenerated, so Tusker trapped inside the trees. It's a parade of leaves for his own demise. And now Wrath of Nature, they're going to bounce up the top. Nope, that's just for giggles.
Yeah, he's gonna kill the creep wave a little bit faster as a result, and Frev's just playing this lane really well with Milan here, but it's such a tough lane for Drow to play against a Tusk. Misery's gonna find the Tusk, at least only level 1 battery assault though, on this level 3, and he ends up juking him while going high ground. He deserves that tip. That was sick outplay actually.
Don't get a kill, have something else.
Pressure on Kezu here, but 3 points of win run's gonna easily keep him alive.
Actually trapping him in the cogs? Maybe they have enough damage. Madara is still not level 6. If he was 6, this would be so easy for him. But it does not happen. And now Misery has to retreat. Farev turns around for a hunt. And Milan's also there too. Long range shards won't be able to connect. But then again, maybe when Madara and Misery group up so closely, Madara just far enough to the right, able to dodge the shards.
Good movement there. I mean, this is very tough for the Draw Ranger, but Shadow Fiend is having a pretty good game. He's like 15 CS up on the TA.
Support's coming from Kitrak. They're going after Misery. The paralyzing comes forward. There are 3 heroes in bottom lane, but Misery, the snowball's coming in. Madara needs to push it away almost instantly.
Oh, what a
the
save!
cogs of Misery! Actually, with the perfect save, Kitrak's answers. He's got the dual breath to find that kill over the shards. Missing Misery once again. He has Rocket in 2 seconds time, but it won't be required. The dual breath does the work. And a huge gust from Drow Ranger, saving the support and getting the kill.
That was such a cool way to combo that. I had no idea that was about to happen. The cogs, the cogs was never gonna kill his opponents. I thought at all he was like, okay, he's gonna trap them. But the gust together with it, pushing them to the outside, that was so cool. Level 6 picked up on Drow now too.
6. They just got the extra damage.
Now it's time to fight.
If he can get any kind of extra control onto these 2 offlaners, then yeah, you're in trouble.
And now they're going to wreck creeps here. They're going to be able to kill these treants very rapidly. Drow's still trying to regen up a bit, and it's just going to get even better for Shadow Fiend now. He's hitting for 190 damage right now. That's what TA hits with Refraction. Not even.
The good thing is you got that defensive refraction charges, right? To make your bounces around the map.
Shadow Fiend gets
More
pretty low.
harass than anything else. Even Wind Ranger's got the plus 49. You got 25 from the aura. Everyone's got 25.
That's what's so cool about Wind Ranger being the off lane here now, is that he can just sit in this lane and he can constantly hit Ritsu for damage. With that same vein though, Ritsu's skill build also cool. It's lots of adaptive strikes that he can just spam a nuke and actually do something to trade with his opponent. So both players making cool decisions, but ultimately this should favor BlinkPool.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I want to watch this execution now from War. How do they handle this increase in damage? And what do they look for? SF still having a good time against the TA.
Gotta be careful
Trying
though.
to force around, but that's the reason why Tuskar's rotated in. So SF moves into the trees. Hello, Millen. 1 hit, and he loses 2 hits, and he loses almost 50%. And the Cogs burn pushes it back. Whoops, that raises a little bit the wrong range. Now they're going to be point-blank range for a close raise.
I don't know if he tried to push him back or keep him in the cogs. Either way, easy kill. And normally when a TA would, or a SF would spot a Tusk like that, he would ditch instantly. But he knows he's got the damage. They go equal on bounties again. 2 and 2, or not again, but this time. 2 and 2 bounties here. The closer Drow gets to a couple survivability items, it's gonna change this game in a big way.
I'm wondering if this is one of those games too where you say, hey, go a full Hurricane fight. Like she's going the 4-star at the very beginning.
I could definitely see that. I'm not the biggest fan of the item. Sometimes I'll focus our top on the Morphling here. A little bit
I remember
early.
we've had that debate about the full Hurricane Pike. I think it was like with you and Blitz, and I think both of you said Hurricane Pike straight out doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I wouldn't. No, I doubt I said anything like that. It makes sense. It's just expensive for the damage it gets. They will get a kill mid on Misery, it looks like.
Yeah. Tries to delay and actually buy time for Kaiser. He gets back to the shrine, but that's got 28 seconds on cooldown.
He will be able to kill this camp in the meantime, but yeah, I don't know if they can defend the tower. Soxa might suicide for it. Gilbrett's going to buy him a lot of time, actually. And a macro
He
pyre.
levels macro pyre. Miller wants to fight him in the shards, then sure. Al actually walking over it with the treants. They can't, actually, they can get around that sprout, wait for a cast to bounce back down again. Kill's already happened. They really want this T1 tower. There's no fortification for the Radiant side. Now Madara, all by himself. He wants the Gust to buy some space, but the control lock is just too good. And even Misery was thinking about denying the town, but thought better of it.
It's a pretty big oversight. He just didn't anticipate there being a trap there. It's a 250 magic damage, is 60% slow for 5 seconds. There was no way he doesn't get killed there, but he thought he would have the safety of being able to outrun a snowball and not get sharded in, but the trap just guaranteed that combo from working. So just a little bit of an oversight for him there. Not knowing there'd be a trap behind the tower. Unless that was a recent one, I can't remember. I believe this is one of those tech issues that they need a pause for.
Hey, this one is visible. It's a Discord problem.
Is it though, Toby? Maybe they're just doing this to tilt their opponents, knowing that the drama is the pauses. They're waiting for a moment where they just won and they're like, let's pause and say we have an excuse. Is that a possibility? I think it is.
If you had Sebastian on the other side, I'd say that's more likely. I suppose Misery would be very intolerant of it as well. It's fine. I think it's the best in people.
I'm gonna not say anything because that it's definitely a possibility. We'll see. Any admins? There it is. I think this is. If anything, I believe this is a tilt strategy. Is what this is. I think there's a real possibility this is a tilt strategy, but they have cover.
It's in the rules. You're following the rules, so you cannot. Obviously, we scrutinize them more to have any kind of pause during the game. But it's just because of what happened over the last 2 days. It's fine. We can talk about more about the game.
You don't need fans to win TI, right? That's not important.
Yeah, it's like a team that's meant to show emotion when they win TI. See the difference in the videos between like the SEA teams and VGJ teams when VGJ Storm when they won, and then EG. Yeah, boys. All right.
Yeah. Morphling picks up a fast Morbid Mass this game actually, which kind of works out well if you full Agimorph. You deal tons of damage and have high armor, but lifesteal actually offsets most of the harass that you'll take from the neutrals. So it's kind of a cool way for him just to have a way to get farm without having to stay in the lane.
With the Illusion Rune, can control the mid lane still, and looks like he's going to rotate top. This is what we're expecting, right? Like, you go Drow Ranger lineup, even if she's not in the front lines, you still need to push the tier 1 tower, and the SF is the highest net worth on BlinkPool. He is the one who's being enabled here.
I mean, he's so scary to play against. If you get double raise, you take a huge amount of damage. Kind of curiously, he even went the spell amp first instead of the attack speed.
You are not getting away from this. Maledict on you. He's already burnt the macro pie previously, and he will tick out.
Nothing weird about this though, because that's the best hero. You always want to put your 5 in that position, so that they are the least dangerous hero to die.
Like, look now before you blink. Like, they're having to fortify in the tier 2 tower. The 3 range heroes, Focus Fire, Wind Ranger, Madara with his high damage, and you got the SF who's hitting like a truck at 220 a pop.
I love the Rocket Flare position too. It's going to spot any late TPs in, and they have an Observer to spot the Shrine. They know exactly if their opponents come. They don't fear anything. That was so well done. That worst case, they lose a tier 1, which is going to usually happen at this point, and they'll also do Kuro, who's going to be good at slowing down the push anyways. That push hasn't even gotten to the tier 2 yet because he was able to slow down the creep wave, and just great vision control from Clockwork and the warding there. Really nicely done by Blink.
It's the necessary sacrifice. That's what it's all about. But they've also got so much damage that, like, if War lose a team fight, then Roshan will quickly come after it. And with a team like a Drow Range that wants to push in harder and protect those souls on the SF in the fight, you want that Aegis on him.
Yeah, and I would say that they didn't win their lane with the drought. They got overly pressured a little bit, but they've pushed this into now tower advantages. Like, they're losing pretty significantly in terms of gold actually, but it does feel like, and I was surprised to see that, it feels like they have more map control on BlinkPool's side. So still scary thing though, because if you take a tower advantage and you still have gold disadvantage, if you don't turn that tower advantage into something like pressure or ganks, then you're going to lose late game anyways.
Oh, ganks coming towards Madara, supports nearby in the form of the SF, and already Miller knows this is not what he wants to have, thanks to having a haste rune, however, very quickly away.
I love this trap blow up that the TA just did as well. It's going to harass Madara to a point where he actually just has to go hit up a shrine or go back to base.
Actually, he's setting up for Millen? Millen's got Snowball off cooldown in 1 second time and Shard. He came back in.
Yeah, if the TA stays basically, or the drought stays, tries to leverage that. Instead, what he's going to do is hit up a shrine. Mizra ends up getting a kill on Kitrak, finding him over there.
I didn't solo kill.
Didn't see how that's set up, but I did see the Witch Doctor was staying in the trees. I assume, looks like maybe the Witch Doctor came to cast the lane or something. It's kind of like a right time to the right place kind of a thing, perhaps.
Revs on that split push again. A quick consumption of the macro pyre. I don't know if that was fully required.
I'm gonna say worth it. Like, macro pyre is not a big loss as a hero. It's like one of the most disposable ultimates you can have. 60 seconds. It's not that great usually. You usually don't get more than like 2 or 3 seconds tops of it. It's like it's kind of like an ulti that is a level 4 nuke at best. I think
Shadowfiend's going to want to have that mana start pretty soon. And Orchid is already finished on forever, so Nature's Prophet's going to be disabling that SF in the fight.
That's cool. It's good against TA as well, because then you have Illusions hitting, breaks Refraction. You can delge the Meld Strike, or remove the minus armor from Meld. There's a lot of great things. And also Witch Doctor cast, maybe positives and negatives there, but I like it. Lots of attack speed, it'll work out nice. SF will push out mid here, and after pushing out top, they feel comfortable to try to pressure on mid. If they get this tower, then they have tons of map control.
They're flanking around the back. It's good Dire Observer Ward, so if this smoke does break and they're up on the hill, they're going to get the information. Yeah, there's the smoke break, but quickly into the Gust. Make sure he's controlled, even gusting him back into the Ice Path. Shackle lands over on the Witch Doctor, and it's just one by one. Mora getting caught here in the mid. The dual breath will connect as well. Witch Doctor does not have enough life to survive this. Trade-off is bottom lane. TA is getting some damage into the tier 2 tower. Red's adding pressure towards the top. But this is what I was talking about. You win one good fight, you go for Roshan.
Yeah, it's been farming basically. That's the benefit of what Undenrain's doing. The Morphling has been AFK neutrals the whole time. With his Morbid Mask, he's almost got his BKB finished. TA ends up taking the bot tier 2, but it's going to be trade by BlinkPool getting a Roshan. There's a trap in the Rosh though. Maybe he can snipe it.
And the Wrath of Nature connects the trap still.
Milan's going in.
Snowball forward! He gets it!
No!
And he gets
No way!
Not just the kill, but the agency model. Yes way! 5 heroes stand around going, what the actual fuck? Tuskar is managed to steal it perfectly. Drop sentries and Roshan to see TA traps.
Look at this gold advantage. This feels like BlinkPool's winning this game, but they have a 9k gold advantage right now. They stole Rosh, that's another 1k. That's a 2k swing alone with that steal, and he got the Aegis. That's insane. Yeah. And okay, if there's one thing BlinkPool did moderately wrong there, and that's not have a Sentry Ward. If they had a Sentry Ward, that TA trap dies. Milan does not have perfect information. He can't time that perfectly, and that snipe is so much harder to do. But him seeing that, coming in and sniping it, they deserve to talk this shit right now, because it feels like they're losing, but they are actually stomping in terms of net worth right now with their full efficiency.
This is the worst case scenario for a Drow Ranger lineup. You don't have the Aegis, you're not pushing the lanes. Okay, it's a bad scenario.
They could have lost the lanes way worse. They could feel like they're losing and also be losing. Right now they feel like they're winning, but they're also losing. Could be worse. But who knows? They can stabilize this still. To find a TA here, Sock's in trouble.
Yeah. Good hits. Down goes the Jakiro.
Good timing on the blink away too. I don't know if you re-refracted there.
They're going for the Drow Ranger. They may want to go a little bit harder. That's a Blink Decker coming off cooldown, and there's another TA trap. So Madara just can't get away. Even Death Wards, Gus cancels it quickly, and they just shard to find the kill. Melon stealing Roshan and taking the life of Drow Ranger. Maybe a little bit of trouble for Kezu. The Orchid goes to work as Ritsu was battling the Wind Ranger, and now there's 3 heroes down. The team who were meant to have the nice quick pickoffs, take Roshan, and then push a lane, now are 3 heroes of their own that are being pushed.
What a painful death there. Poor Drow, man. And that's really where you see the net worth difference. If Drow has a slightly less bad laning stage, and he has a 4-staff there, he doesn't die. But all it took was just a couple prepped traps, and 1 hero rotating over the Witch Doctor, and it all works out. So BlinkPool is now just trying to stabilize. They were expecting to have an Aegis and being able to use that to actually push in a more dangerous location or take a team fight, but now they just don't feel comfortable. They don't have an item on Drow that's going to keep her alive if she ever gets in trouble. They can't back her up very well with their supports outside of like a hookshot Cogs. So BlinkPool is just feeling the pressure, man. Even the Shadow Fiend, he's actually just hiding on the top lane, hoping to maybe get a solo kill or something. Maybe he's hoping Morphling will show up and he'll get a double raise kill or something, but he's been sitting here a very long time, actually.
And this is so much wasted time for an SF. He was #1 in the net worth, but if you look at the net worth now, it's just all coming up war. Top 3 belongs to them with TA well ahead, and they're going again on bottom. They're going to flip the Jakiro around, finding that kill, and they're looking for more. Hook shot off target. Now it's Maledict, and they got the Death Ward. Let it rip. Killing off Misery quickly, and quick as well as Wind Ranger versus Wind Ranger, chasing him down. Ritsu. Can he reach? He's looking for a shackle line. He's not going to find it on Kezu.
There's no way he'll catch up there. He doesn't have phase boost, so. Man, all of a sudden BlinkPool in a just really bad position. The Rosh snipe, man, and just the efficiency, like the fact that Ritsu instantly got that Mask of Death and just jungled instead of having to worry about the lane pressure. Like Wind Ranger controlled the lane and all, but it just didn't matter because he just abused the mechanics of full agility more for the Morbid Mask. So he's still got good farm. TA still got good farm because it's TA. Prophet's always farming, and any lane that was semi-open, the supports take. So in all of this, Wind Ranger just got good gold advantage. And there's been no pressure. There's like no hero on BlinkPool that can set up kills.
Oh god, Madara! Oh, if he got locked inside the shards, it would have been really sad for him. He got locked up by the Prowlers. There was no vision. They just sentry because they were wondering about it, but there's no vision from War there. It was just a completely blind shard that's now burned 100 gold.
I think one of the big issues this game out of BlinkPool's draft is their lack of gank heroes. I think the Shadow Fiend, it was fine he went Dragonlance because it does make really good use of Drow Ore in the early game and gives him HP to match with the high damage, but I think buying the Yasha screwed him over. Because it made his right click even better, which is fine, but he needed a Shadow Blade there so that he could actually try to set up or pressure any heroes, because he's kind of like the only person on the team that can. Drow's so far behind that she has to play defensive, and there's a lot of counters. Jakiro's not going to set up kills. Wind Ranger isn't really going to do that either, because she's off lane and always catching up. And then there's nobody, and that's been part of the problem. Wind Ranger has just been AFK farming. BlinkPool can't move around getting kills. If they have a Shadow Blade on SF, maybe they can get some freebies here and there. But none of that has ever happened. And now he just now gets it.
They have the Shadow Blade now.
But there's
the Shadow Blade now.
There's been so much time lost though. Like, and his net worth isn't even close to the enemy cores, partially because he sat top a lot. But if he had a Shadow Blade, he would have felt more comfortable doing that, and there would have been a couple kills here or there, and his opponents wouldn't have farmed so aggressively. But they've just gotten to do whatever the hell they wanted this game.
Value Sentry ward on bottom. TA's finally realized that the creep wave was killing off the traps. They got through 2 before she finally exploded it.
They don't even feel comfortable pushing out their bot lane past the tier 2. That is incredible. They're a big disadvantage to be up against.
They're not even gonna try anything. Like, TA's walking around, farm whatever they want. It's War who's trying something else. They're gonna smoke up and run right into Saksa. They finally come up to the high ground and they close the distance. Kezu quickly wind runs away. Maybe they have the isolated damage to kill off one, but Tuskar Snowball buys more time. Requiem is good. So at least 2 heroes down for War, but it's gonna be an almost even trade-off. Misery barely clinging to life, but SF can finally do some work. Okay, maybe the other SF. Ritsu changing into it. You know, scare off the original SF.
Yeah, BlinkPool was not quite ready for that. Soxa did break the smoke, but he must have been looking somewhere else at the same time. The Ice Path, if it lands on 3 heroes, it looks great. It doesn't work out though. You can't always predict these Jakiros to do the right thing in the right moments, just like the OpenAI. Sorry, the bot TI ruined our dreams, my dreams. I don't know if you caught that, Toby, but I was very let down. Jakiros let me down.
And Enigma won. That was what really mattered. Enigma slaughtered, actually. Thanks to the fact that Disruptor doesn't know how to use ability.
That's true. The Drow Ranger did not die in that fight at least. It was a lot of supports and Kezu going down.
Yeah.
But considering they were sitting 5 in that opportunity, and they still...
They're TPing over. Clockwork doesn't have hook shot for another 5 seconds. All these TPs, it kind of feels a little in vain.
If he did have hook, that would have been a great fight, but wasn't quite ready. Still on cooldown. Lost opportunity.
They're so quick to split push. Like, Ferev's already up on top lane, pushing in the lane. Yep. They're going to have their second BKB, which is coming on Ferev. They're going to blink save for Millen. And Templar Assassin, like, she didn't even feel like she needed to go for the BKB herself and just went for a Hurricane fight. So ways to get out of cogs quickly, maybe.
If you have a BKB, you're kind of expecting to take a fight, and they know that they're out farming their opponent. They know that they don't have to take a fight because that's where their opponents excel. They're just going to focus on split pushing. Hurricane Pike will generally help in the meantime and make sure that he doesn't get caught by these single heroes, and he'll just accelerate faster as a result. He's queuing up a Hex next, that way he can solo kill super easily, and then the team fighting becomes massively in their advantage anyway. So yeah, this is what BlinkPool has to do. They're gonna sit their supports between the one guy pushing aggressively, the other 2 deal with the other lanes, and then they gotta wait for these gimme moments. But they're not seeing many of them.
I love watching an SF who has to burn so much mana, just need to have mana for a TP. A tread switch. They're burning everything they can to keep these side lanes in on War. And War's gonna get stronger. I love PA missed a Scythe of Ice.
It'll be really useful.
Increased disable. Wonderful.
Yep.
They don't find the heroes they're looking for. Misery can TP out as well. He's the only one left up at the trees.
Tusk just jumps on the Drow Ranger, drops her to 40% HP, and then he walks away. And she actually is like, okay, I guess I have to walk back to the fountain now. And meanwhile, there's Tusk still sitting in the lane. And
they buy more time for Roshan, a minute and 40 seconds away before he'll spawn, and they're going to claim all the 25 bounty runes. The other huge advantage of having Nature's Prophet, you just TP around the map and grab these things so easily.
Actually, love where Ritsu's been farming too. He's been farming the enemy Ancients and their jungle camps, which means that there's even less area where BlinkPool can get creeps. And then once he finishes their side of the map, he can go to his side of the map, clean that part up, all safely.
He's so close to having a full Skadi.
Yeah,
like,
and that's when Drow loses.
Got so much money.
She has at least just below 7k net worth. He's got 14,000 right now. Once he gets Skadi, it's just BKB right click, she dies.
Prophet's looking for his target, and he's found one. It's going to be Misery. They have the Orchid available, so no cogs, no hook shot. It's just trapped inside the trees. Nice. And they can go up towards top lane now. Another jump forward. Paralyzing cast will not bounce, but it won't matter. Jakiro cops so much damage from this Templar Assassin. An aggressive refraction charges. KSU able to hit the shackle shot, and this is a huge kill to claim. Over 1,000 gold going into the Wind Ranger, not to mention the death time of TA. Dead for so long.
They needed
breathing
that one.
space for BlinkPool.
Definitely time for them to get a kill. And a nice one to have. TA probably kicking herself a little bit, not having a BKB there, because then she would not die. But either way, still 1 kill. It was a fat one. 1,000 gold, 300 going to Shadow Fiend. But I don't know if the Wind Ranger is going to be able to make the biggest impact with it. It does give her lots of gold after the blink.
Oh, Wind Ranger may die. Wind Ranger does
Dude.
die. Millen's a beast. He jumps
really
in when
is.
he's got that medallion and he just wrecked anyone he finds.
And he actually went experience gain this game, which I think is pretty solid considering they're winning. More levels and more Walrus Punch and all this stuff. Perks as well. I love the phase boots pickup, just so his punch actually does something rather than just utility. Like, all of their heroes are threatening on Wind and Rain side. Every single one of them. Kind of reminds me of Sox's Skywrath Mage last game, almost killing the carry. It's like, when your 5 is threatening the life of a 1, as a bad place to be. So it's going to mean slower farming.
Find the target. SF. They know what they want. They found it.
Doesn't have
but
snowball.
They have no damage. That's going to sigil up, and now the sigil's making it difficult to get away. Prophet can TP anywhere they want to. TA's coming in, but here's Misery with a hook shot. Going forward, up towards the Tusker. They will kill him off, but what is the cost? Witchstock's a little bit out of position. Misery will lose his life, but it's SF helping to claim multiples. It's still a 2-2. Nothing can battle Ritsu, and they know it.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's space for Drow Ranger.
2 supports for 2 supports, so it's okay. I think any trade when you're this far behind is going to be comfortable for you. They technically gain 600 gold, 600 going to clock, 300 for the SF. I felt like SF really staggered for a second when his first hit landed, and he realized how little damage it did to the Tusk. But between Tusk's 2,000 HP and the Medallion and the Urn of Shadows, this guy is very tanky, hard to kill. He's picked up a Buckler as well. He's going to be going for a Crimson Guard, actually. If a Vanguard on the Courier or something. Mostly. This is insane how farmed this guy is.
Yeah.
Once they get Crimson, that offsets all of Drow's aura.
9-4-4 on the Tusker, all going to a worthy cause. And Nature's Prophet's even going to get himself a nullifier by the looks of it.
Yep.
So they're finding so much disable items. I'm wondering though, like with this itemization, is it all going towards the same cause? Like, is it meant to be kill into high ground push?
Are you referring to Wind and Rain on the Dire team?
Yeah, I'm thinking about War. Like when you get the nullifier, when you have all these BKBs, like it's the point when you're happy to look for a fight, because we know Tuskar is, but is the rest of the team on the same page?
Yeah, that's basically what they want to do. Split push, and then when they're split pushing, they have to look for opportunities. That's the easiest way, because high grounding against like a Jakiro and a Clock and an SF and Shackle shots, it all just sounds difficult, right? Especially with the potential for them to buy back and win fights. The easiest way to make that easier is just to kill heroes on the map before you push. And that's why they are picking things like Orchid, Nullifier, and eventually a Hex on TA. They want to find these openings, and those items make it easier to do so. Great late game items, like it's going to help them scale. It just feels like they're going to be able to look for a kill, pick them off, and then turn it into a push. Or at least force a buyback.
Into the pit. Rich is going to do this solo. Power shot reveals the fact that Roshan's being done, so TA begins her TP already. She probably wanted to hang around for the 30-minute bounty runes, but Roshan appears to be a little bit more important. Aegis and Cheese for them.
Morphling picking up Morph targets allies. A little interesting maybe for TA.
Jumping over, Clockwork being caught out, Orchid it up. Millen wants to get in a little bit closer to finish the job with Clockwork. Does he pop from the Orchid? He pops from the last attack for Rev. So Clock is down. TA takes the Aegis.
Dire's middle
Man,
tower
and
is
Yeah,
under
like what do?
attack.
You get like defensive refraction?
Yeah, and a Melt Strike, that could be good, because once you turn it on, you can turn back and you'll still have it. So it's like Morphling with refraction. Sounds pretty good to me. He could also put it on Tusk, get a second Frozen Sigil, Snowball, Ice Shards. He can turn it to Prophet, teleport anywhere on the map. There's a lot of really good things this game, actually.
Not like this, Madara. Not like this. Oh, actually, the pushback. He may be able to survive, but
That
his TP out. No!
Radiant's middle tower is
He
under
actually had
attack.
it was the trap, I believe. He had to wand when he got back to Fountain, but I don't know if it was going to be enough.
Radiant's middle tower
But
is
again,
falling.
same problem. That's a 4 killing your 1. The Drow Ranger problem. You said it didn't look bad before. It didn't at the time, but now it's terrible. Now it looks real bad.
Oh, they're going to come high ground. Turns into TA, and yep, there it is. Defensive refraction charge, the shackles up, and look at the jump in with the early sight. They just destroy Pezu. Looking towards the tower, no, quick 4-star mount, Ritsu just changed himself, remember he's still got that chi inside of him, TA's got the Aegis and the Immortal. They jump in close, the shards block and the hit. With adaptive strike killing off Misery, who instantly buys back to try and defend this mid lane of Rax. There's no macro fire. At least they got the dual breath and the liquid fire. But they're going to work out which one's the real one. Obvious when Morph switches back again. But you get these never-ending refraction charges.
Yes. This morph uptime is 35 out of 40 seconds. That means pretty much all the time he's a morphling with refraction. That's insane. Very useful here.
6-6. Perez making his move down the bottom lane. He didn't even wait for it. He started his taunt and he's some of the trees. And the push, where is the answer? Wind range is up in 4 seconds time, and that has to be the time they fight. They cannot accept the casualties of 2 lanes of Rax. You can gust onto 3. But you've already lost your tier 3 tower. If War wanted, they can back up. But they've still got most of their big abilities. There's no need to. Everything seems to be just so disposable.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think how the game went as well. Like, War was actually just AFK jungling for a lot of this game. And BlinkPool was moving around and pushing towers, but it takes a lot of their heroes to do that. And at the same time, War was just split pushing really efficiently with heroes like Morphling and TA. So they just kept about equal farm, in fact farm better, and now they're just going to end the game.
Morphling jumps in, and they want to kill the SF, and they got the SF. No buyback available for him. And Morphling, he's just BKB. The Shackle won't hold anything, and this is just going to be death of Drow Ranger, death of Jakiro, and really death of Game 2, and life of Game 3. GG is the call.
Absolute domination by War here. This felt like a moderate outdraft, I guess. Outplay, outdraft. I think the Prophet certainly threw them into a loop. It made all the laning weird for BlinkPool all of a sudden, because then Prophet